Your mom and dad. Your mom and dad. Your mom and dad. Your mom and dad.
Ding dong. Come in. Welcome home.
It's
your mom and dad.
Hey. Studio audience is everywhere.
Welcome everyone.
Get your TV dinners out.
Oh my God, there are so many people out there.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you doing? How are you? Where are you from? Oh, really? Wow.
You're really good at that, like 50s voice. How you doing?
Thank you so much for joining the show.
On another episode.
It's your mom and dad.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Oh my
Wow.
goodness, I can't believe
We're here.
we're doing this.
What are we doing?
What are we
This is
doing?
crazy.
I don't remember how to podcast.
I
It's been
know.
like 5 weeks.
We need to Google like what to say at the top of a podcast.
How do you start a podcast with your partner and your best friend?
Oh my gosh, that's the
Oh my
cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. I love you. I'm excited
love
to
you
do this
too.
with you.
I can't wait. I am so excited to dive into this new podcasting world with all of the listeners, our family, and with you. I can't wait to go over reality TV shit with you. I can't wait to roast each other and give each other a hard
we have
time.
to.
Talk about advice, relationships, reality TV, what's going on.
What's going on? And like, here's the thing. If me and Jess got one thing, it's that we talk.
Yes.
And me and you talk constantly together. Like it's we won't shut up. It's 24/7. Our daughter is definitely the same way. Between the three of us, it is literally just like blabber mouth central.
The three of us never stop talking.
Never stop talking.
It is just a 24/7 on roll. So it's like you might as well, record a
We
little
might
bit
as well
of
just
it.
make this a podcast because it's just nonstop.
This podcast is your mom and dad. And what we're doing with this podcast is that once a week, just once beautifully a week, you have the solace of being able, you come into our living room and we have family. It's family time
It is
together.
family time.
And, maybe just like your parents, we're going to give advice, our opinions, and just like your parents, it might be, uneducated,
Sure.
uninformed, frustrating, but here we are.
But one thing I do want to say is that, if you don't get along with your in-laws or you don't get along with people, it's like, hey, we're your family now.
We're your family.
If you're dreading whatever next holiday, come on over to our place.
Yeah, let's get cozy together. And here we will talk. We're going to talk about advice. We're going to talk, from the perspective of an old married couple of
We kind
however
of
many
are an
years.
old married couple.
I know. I mean, we've been married for 11 years.
Coming up on 11 years.
But we've been together for like 16.
It's crazy.
So we're going to have the old married couple perspective on dating shows, romance, pop culture of things, some interviews about relationships. I mean, our lives, of
We've
course.
kind of been through a
because
lot of things.
We have, yeah.
We've seen a lot of things.
We have.
We've had hard times, amazing times. I do feel like we have the answers to all of your questions you could ever want.
Every single one. Flawless.
And if you follow my 5-step plan that I'm putting the link to right now, please buy and then sell to all your friends.
Starting out with an MLM.
Starting out with an
That
MLM,
feels like
yeah,
a
yeah.
good way to start out a first
And if
episode
you get
of a
your
podcast.
friends involved, we'll all be rich. That's that's why we started this whole thing.
But honestly, if you are here, I mean, we so appreciate it. It
Seriously.
means so much to us, and we're like so excited. Like I said, I feel nervous right now because I feel like I've forgotten how to podcast.
Yeah.
But I'm also, my heart is like beating with joy because I
yeah.
can't wait to podcast with you. But I will say this, we are not alone.
We are not alone. And
We're
this
not
is
alone.
exciting.
This is so exciting.
God is here.
God
No,
is
I'm just
with
kidding.
us.
Hello,
Whoa.
Oh my God.
Whoa.
my
The
children.
Lord, I believe again.
What's happening? You're finally answering. No, okay.
After all these
After all these years on the podcast. So who is God? Who is this person we're hearing?
God in our podcast is our amazing producer, Lee Kawasaki.
Wow.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
Oh
Hi.
my gosh. Well, if you don't know that voice, he is our incredible behind the scenes personnel. He edits our videos. He has done this for the last however many years. He's incredible.
Lee has literally saved my actual life on so many occasions. Lee is the patient king who, when I'm editing at like midnight or 1 a.m, I'm texting him and he is just there for me. And now he's going to be in studio with us.
Yeah, they gave me a mic.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't regret it.
Yeah, it's like all of a sudden he comes in, he's like, I have a lot of opinions on very controversial topics. No, I mean, what's funny, he always walks in the door and we're always like sitting there chatting for an hour, talking about whatever and like having good conversations. So it just felt natural to be like, hey, we should all be hanging out and do this thing together.
And Lee has been so gracious to then also be behind the computer. So this time, guess what? Guess what, fam? When we don't know something, we might be able to Google it.
We have a Googler.
In real time. So sometimes we might be able to correct our mistakes mid-podcast. What a gift. What a joy. So he really is God in this podcast.
Yes.
So you're going to all get to know and fall in love with Lee. Just like
We're excited
have.
about this.
Okay, here's the thing. I want to talk a little bit about our break, what we had going on. I have some things I need to address with you publicly on the podcast. I have a beef, first of all, with you.
Chill. Okay, I guess mom and dad's fight a lot, so this only makes sense.
So I'm going to start off this podcast with an argument.
She's like, cool. Welcome to your mom and dad's. The bullshit you've been pulling.
But before that, guess what we have?
What do we have?
We have our first sponsor to talk about.
Holy.
We have our first sponsor. I'm going to cry.
This is huge.
Okay, listen up. It's the new year, and we are always inundated with potential resolutions, but I have an important one that as a parent, I do feel extremely passionately about, and that's life insurance. And Fabric by Gerber Life is the easy, all online solution you've been waiting for that can help protect your family's financial future if something unexpected happens.
We love this because Fabric was designed by parents for parents to help you get high quality, surprisingly affordable term life insurance policy in less than 10 minutes. They make it so easy with a seamless online experience that is on your time. Just apply, see your quote, and then personalize your quote to fit your family's needs. You could be offered coverage instantly with no health exam required.
Protect your family today with Fabric by Gerber Life. Apply today in just 10 minutes at meetfabric.com/chatty. That's meetfabric.com/chatty. meetfabric.com/chatty. Policies issued by Western Southern Life Assurance Company, not available in certain states. Prices subject to underwriting and health questions. And yes, that is code chatty. We have the lingering sweetness of our sweet memory with chatty. The codes are going to be changing here soon, but for right now, we got that chatty code as a sweet memory.
Sweet memory.
Sweet memory. Okay, so we had some lovely times during our 5-week break.
Yeah, it was really good. I mean, it reset my brain, that's for sure.
It definitely did.
Like we were going at a pace that was so crazy.
It was at a very swift volume. Our life had been extremely, extremely busy, and it was, I think, not great for us at the moment just because it was just so exhausting. But here's what ended up happening. We're enjoying the holiday season together. Yes. And then our sweet daughter ended up getting a stomach bug, which she then transferred to me. So actually during Christmas, Ember and I were not, well, luckily it was like a few days before Christmas, but into Christmas, we still weren't doing well. It was a vomit sesh in the house, to put it lightly.
It's bizarre because it's like Ember gets super sick, you get super sick, right? But the difference between anyone who gets sick and Ember is that this is our daughter in a nutshell. This is the energy she has and like the positive vibe she has. When she vomits, she's literally puking and it's shooting out of her nose. And while it's out of her nose, she goes, "Did you see that? That was crazy."
She is legitimately in between throwing up, looking up at me going, "Mom, I told you, I felt like it. This is wild." I'm like, "Ember, honey, just take a breath.
Just vomit.
Just keep vomiting. And then we can talk when you're done."
And then she does this thing where she's on the bed and she's just like, or she's on the couch, right? She's super sick. She's laying there. She's, "I don't feel good." And then she goes, vomits, talking while she's vomiting. And then she sits back down. She goes, I feel a little better. And then she starts get up and just starts dancing. And she's like, and like whatever music's in the movie, she's just like doing spins and turns. And then she goes, whoa, I did not feel good. And then vomits again. Like that was 3 days straight.
And you do your best to be like, Ember, honey, you need to relax.
Yeah.
But she'd rather just let it out and then not feel good. You just can't hold her back. You can't keep her down. But okay, so here's my beef.
Okay, you got beef.
Here's my beef. So Ember and I get extremely sick.
Yes.
Okay. You are the last one standing.
Yes.
Now listen, I would like to say that I support the fact that you need to stay away because you need to someone needs to hold the house together and you need to stay healthy, right? You need to have some space. And I don't want you to get sick. I don't want you to be suffering like we're suffering. I want you to protect yourself. We can be isolated. And like I said, someone needs to hold the house together, right? Especially during the holidays, you know, people are expecting us to deliver gifts. I'm like, I can't do any of this, and there's germs everywhere, and you're just handling everything. And you were so helpful, truly so helpful. But here's my beef with you. I need to know how and why you did not figure out how to construct at least some sort of hazmat suit so that I could get scratchies.
Got it. Okay. So
I don't know how you didn't figure out some sort of like extendo arm that you could be within like 20 feet of me and like patting my back and consoling me as I'm ill and not just leaving me in isolation. You know what I mean? I get it. You need the space to not get sick, but I don't know how in the spirit of the holidays you weren't able to engineer some sort of robotics to even maybe come in and, you know, wish me love and maybe do a head scratch for me.
You know what? Okay, hold on. Okay.
I'm just saying, you know, I totally understand. And I have to tell you, you know, truth be told, you did a fantastic job. You were taking care of the house. Ember had gotten better. So you were also taking care of her. You were dealing with all the holiday stuff. You were checking in on me, bringing me food, all that. But I need to be held. So if you could figure out some sort of animatronic situation, that's my beef.
I understand. And can I just say that I love you? Can I start with that?
Okay.
That I do love you.
Thank you.
Okay. And I am sorry for the last thing I want to do is make you feel this way.
Thank you for the apology.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. Because this. I need you to feel, understood and cared for in this way. Here's the problem. I don't have a background in engineering. Okay. So next time what I'll do is I'll do some
masterclass.
Okay,
is an option. You know what I
So
mean?
next time what I'll do is some courses.
Okay.
So I will do some online courses on how to construct this.
Okay.
But in the meantime, I feel like I have to figure out a way, maybe a boundary, in order to keep me from being sick so that one of us can be still going. Because I can't afford to get sick. Because if we're all sick, then we're all going, how are we going to survive, right? Somebody has to survive.
Sure.
So I am willing to make the tough decision to, lock you away. Okay. And I'm not saying
I'm fine. Listen, I'm fine being locked away. I'm just saying the ingenuity of the human. You could have figured out how to create some sort of extendo arm, some sort of robotic creature that could do your bidding.
That's true.
In the bedroom in a cuddly sense for me. Sure, it might be made of steel. Sure, its touch might be cold, but
it's still a touch.
But it's still a touch, and I needed it. I needed the comfort of my mother. I needed the comfort of someone, to pet me.
Okay, so maybe we could do this. Yeah. Is that because I'm still, I'm just being honest with you, I don't have the skills in order to create like an animatronic being that can come and pet you.
YouTube is
But what I will do is this.
Now.
I will build you a back house. And in the back house, there will be beautiful music. Okay. It will have to, you will have to be sequestered away from the premises in order to protect
you from getting sick.
Me from getting sick.
Yeah.
And so it will be, but it will be nice. We'll have some nice music in there. The lighting will be beautiful. I want you to feel super comforted, but I will need you to be completely bubble girl.
Okay.
So maybe we put you in a nice bubble. Maybe it's a really comfy bubble. Something, something really, so I can get really close to you. Maybe that's better. So I can massage you through the bubble.
Okay.
Oh, I have it.
Okay.
I have it. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I got it. Okay. Here's what I'll make. Are you ready? Here's what I'll make. You know how when scientists have you seen this where they have to work with really bad, toxins and stuff? They'll have a case.
Okay.
And the case will have rubber gloves that they put in order to, if they're trying to make dealing with like hazardous materials.
Yeah.
What they will do is they'll have the hands in there and then do all the stuff and then take the hands out. Okay. So what I will do is I'll put you in a bubble with gloves that go in, and then I can give you rubs in the hazmat, in the bubble.
See, babe.
See?
This is what I'm talking about. This is the ingenuity, and this is why there was the beef.
Listen, I will.
So I just want to say thank you so much for the thousands of things you were doing while I was sick, while simultaneously checking in on me, sending me words of love, feeding me. But this was what was lacking.
I understand.
Anyone listening to this now joking is like, this fucking bitch.
No. I totally don't. Because I was, if I'm being honest with you, I was a little harsh. Like I was not harsh, but I was pretty like, I think we need to remove you from the premises and put you in some sort of holding tank or some sort of like.
Well, understandably so. It was a vicious bug, and I was hugging the toilet, and you didn't need that.
I
in your
saw
life.
the violence that you and our daughter went through, and I thought. I don't think I should go through that violence, and I should probably protect myself from, our own little
You were also thinking.
pathogen.
You were also thinking ahead about the fact that we're going to be recording a podcast, and you can't be, puking your way through it.
And I want you to know, full
later.
honesty, it had nothing to do with. It was zero selfishness that I didn't want to get sick. I wanted to get sick. It was just that I couldn't.
You were like, I would have loved
to have gotten sick and just been
that.
next to you and just been like, just taking care of you while I was vomiting. I would have loved to have done that. But
well, it's just something.
It's just
something we
things.
could have gone through together. But you made that choice.
I made that choice, and I just want to apologize right here now.
Well, I accept
that. I shouldn't have.
Apology.
I should have called like an engineering team to come in and make this for me.
I accept your apology. Thank you so much.
I love you.
Beef is squashed.
Okay, beef is squashed.
Okay, now can I give you, I had my beef with you, but then I also wanted to give you an apology.
Oh, an apology. Okay.
Yeah, I do owe you an apology.
Oh, okay.
My apology to you is this. So during our break, the one fun thing that we really did was, because we had a lot, I shouldn't say that. We had a lot of beautiful downtime that was so appreciated. But like the one exciting thing was that we went to Stephen Lovegrove's ball, which no one throws a party like Stephen Lovegrove. This was just absolutely fantastic. And you joined me, and we got to meet some of
we really did.
Bachelor alum, had some great conversations.
We were hanging out there, buddy.
It was really fun. And I'm hoping that some of those people will be eventually joining us on this podcast, because we had some wonderful, interesting conversations. But this is my apology to you.
Okay.
So, who was there but none other than your Jungle Path king, Aaron Clancy?
Oh, yeah.
Aaron Clancy was there. And when Aaron walked in, I looked at Evan and I go, there he is.
Yeah.
And I know that Evan immediately, he's like, I got to have that moment where you actually have the IRL convo with Aaron Clancy. And what I did, which I owe you the apology for, is before you could get there, I swooped in and started up a conversation, had a great conversation. But in this conversation, I told Aaron that I do a great Aaron impersonation.
Stop. It's unbelievable, dude. And first of all, I saw this too, because I was sitting there, and then all of a sudden I saw you hanging with Aaron.
I took it upon myself.
And then you stole my impression.
I fully stole it.
You know what, you guys, this is...
I told him.
This is the kind of stuff.
I said, I do, by the way, I do a great impersonation of you. And I was like I was doing the whole burrito thing. Here's the truth of the matter is.
Oh, you even went specific.
No, I did the full impersonation and I don't do it
this
well.
This is the problem with artists today. Like artists are getting stolen from constantly. And there's like a big problem, you know, with people ripping off other people's art. And, you know, I mean, I think, listen, I don't want to, like, I feel like if we weren't married, I'd sue you.
Yeah, well, you know, you can try. Yeah. but I did the full burrito. I did the full. I went in,
well.
and I don't do a great Aaron impersonation. But I did a.
So now that's the problem though. So now if I do it, it looks like I'm ripping you off.
Well, I basically what I did is I just copied your impersonation as best I could. But again, a couple drinks in, not 100% sure what I was saying.
Real loose.
Yeah, it was loose.
You're probably doing New
great.
York. You're like, how you doing?
Yeah, I don't even know.
What?
I don't know what was coming out, but I did it, and so the second I walked away, I was riddled with guilt, and I'm like, wow, that was Evan's moment.
Did he like it, or was he kind of like, okay?
I think so. Like I said, I was loose. I'd been drinking, yeah. But you know, the second I walked away, I was riddled with guilt, and I thought, you know what, that was Evan's impersonation, and I fully ripped it off. And so
I appreciate you.
And I just want to let you know that I apologize, and I love you so much.
Okay.
And I'm very sorry.
Well, here's what I'm going to do from now on. Whenever I do the impression on this podcast, I'm going to have a little disclaimer at the bottom that just blinking saying that I originally did this and this is actually my idea. And Aaron, if you're listening, it's going to be a long disclaimer. It's going to take most of the bottom. Aaron, if you're listening, I actually was the originator of this. She butchered it. We apologize. Give me another chance.
Do you want me to sign maybe a waiver before you do any future impersonations?
Yeah, I want an NDA for my impressions.
Yeah. Maybe just something that I promise that I'll never rip off your impersonations again.
Oh my gosh, that's insane. Yeah, by the way, guys, we were there at this party, and then Aaron's there, and I met him for a second, and then Jess, like, you know, she can talk to anybody, so she's talking to him.
You were so proud of me, though, right?
Oh no, let me just tell you something, guys. Jess,
I'm gonna pat my own self.
No. I this is something that, like, I've never seen anyone work a room like you.
Oh, thank you.
Like, your ability to just make friends with everyone. Like, this happened like twice. Jess is like vibing and talking, and people are like, you know, you can just see like electricity, and she's talking, and I walk up and I say 3 or 4 words, and just the whole thing kind of dissipates. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm just like, so how's the weather? And they're just like, it's pretty good. And they're like, anyway, I'm gonna go get another drink, but I'll see you later, man. And I'm just like, okay, well, we don't all have the same gifts. You know what I mean?
Well, I thought you were fantastic.
Thanks.
I so appreciated you.
It was a blast.
We had so much fun, and you also were just like my encouraging king the whole time. Every time where I'd go up and meet somebody, I'd be a little nervous. Evan would be behind me and be like, you did it. You were so great. And
yeah. Well, she's my cheerleader. She doesn't need my encouragement. She's incredible. Her ability to like make friends with people. Like I don't know if we've talked about this on the podcast. Probably not, because we haven't talked about it together, but it's like, she'll just tell me like, oh, I'm going to go out with a couple of my girls and we're going to go to like a bar and just have a drink or go to a restaurant. And then I'll find out the next day that she made 27 friends there. And you're like, how did you meet these people? Like, oh, I don't know. We just started talking and they were randomly just sitting over there. And next thing you know, yeah, he works for this company and she works for this company. And we do this and we're talking. And next thing you know, like, we're all going to this thing in a week. And I'm like, what? Like, who meets people going to a restaurant who become like their friends?
I love meeting people.
It's crazy.
I have a hard time maintaining then, because then I get overwhelmed with.
But that's even more, you know, like people get more like, what? That's it? Like a phantom in the night. You just come, you blow my mind, and then leave and never talk to me again. Like, it is crazy though. Her ability to make friends is bizarre. Like, no joke. Her and her friends could go and sit on a patio somewhere, and within 1 hour, they're being invited to some party. Me and Lee try to go do that. Just 2 dudes sitting on a patio. No. It's not happening. No. It's not happening.
There must be so many stories about you, Jess. Like, from these like thousands of people you've met, and just like, dude, you know that one time? Like,
maybe we'll.
Who was that?
Yeah, no, dude. There's no question people do that. There's no question, because I'll meet people that I didn't even know existed, and they'll be like, "Oh my god, your wife is like hilarious." She was saying the craziest stuff. Oh, this happened. This. I'm like, what? Like, who are you?
I have officially started Your Mom and Dad podcast to try to hype myself up. Thank you both.
Seriously though, it's wild, you guys.
Self-encouragement time. So that was my confession over, or that was my my beef with you, and then my apology to you over the holiday break. Okay. So I just wanted to put that out there, for all of you, our family. This is honesty hour, so I just needed to put those two things out publicly.
Okay. Speaking of honesty.
Do you want to hold off on that honest thought? I'm going to take one quick pause.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm so curious now. What are you about to say?
I mean, you got to wait.
Uh-oh.
You got to wait.
Now I'm going to be nervous before this podcast, if we don't discuss what we're going to be talking about. What are you about to reveal?
Yeah. That's the beauty.
Okay. So, family, listen, we deeply, deeply hope you have had a lovely and peaceful holiday season. But one thing that isn't peaceful or lovely during the holidays, and that's the post office. Okay? Dude. It's rough. And listen, here's the thing. It doesn't change in January. January means dealing with customer emails, returns, gift card purchases, and the inevitable increase in postage costs. But January is also a great time to set yourself up for a year of saving money and being more efficient. And a great way that you can do that is by using Stamps.com.
We are a house that has been happily using Stamps.com for years. Wow. It's
a long time.
Yeah, seriously. It's a game changer. You can use Stamps.com to print postage wherever you do business. All you need is a computer and a printer. They even send you a free scale, so you have everything you need to get started. If you need a package pickup, you can easily schedule it through your Stamps.com dashboard. And if you sell products online, Stamps.com seamlessly connects with every major marketplace and shopping cart.
Yeah, we've been using it for forever.
Since the first time...
We've sent out packages.
Since the first package.
Since the very first package, we started using Stamps.com. Also, they have amazing partnerships with USPS and UPS for unbeatable rates up to 86% off. Start the new year by saving serious money on mailing and shipping. Get started with Stamps.com today. Sign up with promo code Chatty for a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a free digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com, click the microphone at the top of the page, and enter code Chatty.
Love it.
Okay, so listen, life is busy, okay? That's just the inevitable way that it is. I know for myself, the thing I always forget about this during the busyness is grocery shopping. And then boom, it's dinner time and I got nothing. But I learned how to avoid that moment and always have something delicious and healthy to eat on hand. And that's by being stocked with Daily Harvest. And I mean, let me make something clear. I have to be stocked because Evan over here is so obsessed with Daily Harvest. The minute that you see it in the fridge, you will eat it. And so we have to fight over it if it's not constantly stocked.
It's mine. It's true. I'm obsessed. They're just so good and convenient. Daily Harvest delivers the harvest bowls, the soups, flatbread, snacks, smoothies, lattes, and more, built on organic fruits and vegetables. And like I said, convenient. With their nourishing and easy to prep options, we never have to think twice about what to eat for the next meal, snack, or dessert. And everything stays fresh in our freezer until we're ready to dive in, which also helps us reduce food waste. Everything is so good. But my favorite go-tos are their harvest bowls and smoothies, literally morning, night, breakfast, dinner. Like if we have one, I'm doing that.
Yes, it's true.
I just had their sweet potato and wild rice hash bowl last night. Threw a little broth in there. It was unreal.
Yeah, you love that. It was so good.
Seriously, it was so good. Oh, and the cauliflower rice and pesto bowl is forever in my heart for sure.
You're always eating one of those harvest bowls. And also the mint and cacao smoothie is a 10. Oof. Okay, they're always on rotation for us in the morning and afternoon and night. I eat them all the time. Also the hazelnut and chocolate bites. Oh. Okay, I'm done. They're so good. You get the point. It's delicious. And by supporting farmers who invest in practices that increase biodiversity and improve the health of our soil, and by delivering food in recyclable and compostable packaging where possible, Daily Harvest does the work. I eat and enjoy. It's a win-win. If eating well is a goal for 2023, let Daily Harvest support you on the journey. Go to dailyharvest.com/chatty to get up to $40 off your first box. That's dailyharvest.com/chatty for up to $40 off your your first box, dailyharvest.com/chatty.
Love it.
Okay.
Okay.
What are you about to be honest about?
Okay. Well, you know about this. This is more of a confession to everyone listening, and then also for us to just talk about, because this was wild. So,
okay.
During the break, normal life, everything's normal.
Yeah.
I started having really crazy dreams. Like just super, okay. I started having like really powerful dreams, like just vivid dreams that were like discombobulating. You know, when you wake up from one of these and you're like, you don't even know where you are. So I was having these regularly, and to the point where like when I wake up, I just am like lost. Like I'm just literally like, what's going on? Who are you? You know what I mean? Just like out of it. Uh-huh. Well, I had a dream that I was flying in the clouds. Okay. And I was flying, and it was very epic. And I descend like heaven, and I descended as I was flying. I descended upon this cloud that had a toilet on it. It was just by itself. Okay. I descend upon, and I just get right next to it, and I start peeing into this toilet in the sky. And then I wake up because I'm peeing on myself in my bed.
No.
And no, I'm not drinking. I wasn't drunk. This was just a genuine.
This was like a midweek, like we're just, life is normal. Nothing shifted. And Evan has wet the bed.
I full blown pissed the bed, dude.
What?
Like, and not a little bit. Not like, I woke up from being wet. Like the wetness woke me up, dude. And I want to say it was like an hour before I woke up too, because I was kind of
No, it was
was
dark.
it middle of the night?
No, remember?
I don't even remember.
I guess it was still dark out because I wake up to Evan putting towel and like pulling up the sheets, and I'm getting like tossed around, and I'm like, what is going on? I literally I'm out of it, so I'm like, I can't quite put together like what he's doing in the middle of the night, like moving so swiftly, and I'm like, Evan, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? And Evan's just like, I peed the bed. And I'm like, what? Like I'm out of it, so it's taking me like a minute. I'm like, you mean Ashley, like our dog, was she in the bed and did she pee? Or she's always in the bed. I'm like, did she pee in the middle of the night on the bed? That's just what I assumed you meant. And then you were like, no, I peed the bed. And I'm like, what?
It was one of the few times like in our marriage where I literally was like, this could change everything.
Oh my God.
Like I literally had I almost felt nervous to tell you, like there's levels to like honesty. You know what I mean? And I could just kind of like slowly damp it and then like lay on it almost. And then just like when it wakes up, just like I'm going to wash the sheets and then spend the time and just pretend it never happened. But me confessing that to you was like a real jump in our relationship.
It didn't change anything for me.
You know what I mean? Because it could be just like, oh, we're all good. How she played it off, but then like maybe she just never looks at me the same.
Except for the fact that I do love having it now in my arsenal, because my most favorite thing ever.
Like, make sure you go to the bathroom before bed, Ev.
Yeah, no, I can't throw that out there. But
you and Ember, go ahead, guys.
Well, no, my most favorite thing ever was the second Ember woke up. Because Ember's 7 and it's been a while since she peed the bed, but it's like they're kids. Every once in a while it happens for her and it, whatever. So I'm like, this is a beautiful moment in parenting where you get to like, look at your child and go, guess what? I do it too. It happened to me too. Yeah. And so I couldn't wait to wake up. And the second Ember woke up, I was like, Ember, come here.
Oh, dude, she ratted me out immediately. And here's my thing. I'm cool with that, right? But what I'm not cool with is her telling people at school, and then when I show up, like, there's the pee guy. Oh. You know what I mean? Like, what if her teachers are like, hey, Ember did great at school today. How you doing? Wash those sheets. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, because Ember will spread anything you tell her.
Oh, no, there are no secrets.
Worst spy of all time.
No, Ember, worst spy ever. Ember has revealed every single family secret that has ever been shared in front of her the second she goes back to school. No, but the second Ember woke up, I was just like, hey, Ember, guess what? Dad wet the bed. And she lived for it.
Gosh,
it was
dude.
like top moment of her for 2022. She was like, for real? I'm like, yeah, see, it happens sometimes. Dad went to bed too. And so now Ember will throw it around every once in a while in the past couple weeks where she'll be like, Dad, remember that one time?
Unbelievable. Yeah, like if Ashley pees somewhere, our little chihuahua, if she pees, she'll be like, oh, Dad does that too. Whatever. Roast me.
I'm like, well, Dad's not peeing on the carpet yet, but
I mean,
but now it's open season. It's freedom.
that's the thing. We can all just pee anywhere.
well, the biggest problem with this, and it's been a while now. It's been like 3 weeks or something like that. The biggest problem was the next night, like being so scared
Yeah.
of like, am I the pee guy now? Like, is this my lifestyle? Do I pee in the bed regularly now? And it's like those like following 3 nights, like I was nervous.
I remember you were nervous, but what did I do? I just cuddled right up on you.
You're like,
and
give
I
me
was
all
like,
that pee, baby.
And I was like, hey, if you want to
Piss
pee
all
on
over
me.
You're like, I'm willing to develop a kink just for you, baby. If we're the pee couple now, it's
We're
on.
the pee couple. If you're a peer, I'm a peer, babe.
And then she pisses the bed the next night, and I'm like, whoa! And then I'm like, no, it's not gonna work.
It's our version of The Notebook. If you're a bird, I'm a bird. I'm like, if you're gonna piss on me, I will accept it willingly. No, but I cuddled up on you, and I'm like, if this is what we do, and you know what? Think about that next time I'm sick.
Oh shit! Yo, full honesty, that was a good one. That was a really good like wrap around. You brought it back around and absolutely decimated. I will say. No, I mean, it was like, now that like we're saying this, I want to hear people out there. Like, do you guys have any good stories of just like,
Yeah, give us some wet the bed stories.
because it's like the dream is what made it so bizarre.
Yeah. No, I mean, I totally get it. I mean, every time I have a bathroom related dream, I always check. I wake up in like a cold sweat. I'm like, am I good? Because it feels so real.
I'm also curious. I would love to know the dream psychology behind what like urinating in your dreams means, because there's everything in your dreams typically has like some sort of symbol.
Yeah,
Are you experiencing extreme freedom? Perhaps you're flying. There's a gorgeous toilet in the sky. You're peeing freely with no inhibitions, and you're just maybe you're just loose. Maybe you're just happy. So you just peed yourself.
Maybe the happiest people pee the bed.
Maybe
we should do some research on that.
I think that's something to look into.
But yeah, the dream, like next time I'm flying in the sky, I'm like, no, I'm gonna start pinching myself. Like, don't do it. I know what's coming next. Because it was just too like, it wasn't like, oh, I was running and I was doing something in my dream and then I stopped to go to the bathroom. It was like the whole thing was like, then the porcelain was shown. You know what I mean? Anyway, so luckily it's been a couple weeks now. I'm pee free. You know, maybe it was a one-time thing, but famous last words. I don't know.
Well, I appreciate you having what a beautiful, honest confession to our family today.
If there's a pee support group out there, let me know.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I have a thought.
Yeah.
So before we dive into, we'll talk about it, but dive into some reality TV biz. But before we get a little more into that, I thought it would be nice, since it's the top of the year, to have a moment about like talking about, I'm not so much of a New Year's resolution person. I've never been, because I typically always fail immediately. And then I don't like that. I don't like that attitude in my life, that energy of like, there you did it again.
Well, it's a lot of pressure.
It's so much pressure.
It's a lot of pressure to be like, on this day, change your life.
No.
I do a little hack.
What's your hack?
A week before I start it.
Oh. Okay. Does that make a difference?
Yes.
Really?
Big hack for
so you
myself.
have some like pre-New Year momentum going?
Yes, but it's also like it takes the pressure off of like, because what happens to me when I say like I'm gonna do this one thing, I then like binge whatever. So like let's say I'm gonna be really clean this year and I'm gonna clean my house, right? Then I let my house go to shit for the last week. So then that first start is way harder. Whatever your thing is, right?
Oh, okay.
So what I do is like a week before, I almost surprise myself. I go, I'm just gonna do it right now. And then it kind of like tricks the brain into like not putting so much pressure on a thing.
Okay.
So anyway,
nice.
just anybody out there.
Well, unfortunately, this comes too late.
It's true.
It's past the new year, so this is great
Sorry,
advice,
guys.
but it is a tad bit late. But yeah, I'm not like a resolution person.
Right.
But I like the idea of getting into the year with like either a word. I know a lot of people do a word, but like a word or just kind of an energy of something that I want to focus on for the year.
Yeah.
So I thought it might be nice for you and I to share maybe what we had.
I love that.
Should I go first?
Yes, please.
Okay. So I know for myself, 2022, I was very much like, this is going to be my year of trying new things. I'm going to try new things. Well, guess what? About a month in, I was trying new things numerous times a week. And all of a sudden, the year had had a different idea for itself. 2022 was filled with a lot of like quiet days and nights, like a lot of simplicity, but then also like a lot of, there was loss, there was emotional ups and downs for us. And I think a big thing too for me is like, I mean, and you were with me, you watched me go through it. I definitely had a lot of mental health struggles through 2022. And that had been a few years since I had been, having some bipolar flare-ups and all that stuff. So 2022 was kind of difficult in that way. So it kind of hit me and stopped me in my tracks. Like I had this idea for 2022 that it was going to be like new things, we're going to go nuts. And then my body was like, no, you are sitting and you are staying put. And we need to do some deep like rehashing going on of priorities and values and all of that. And so I think what it really taught me, 2022, is what I want to go into 2023 with is, and I guess my word would be like cherish. I want to like really, really soak up every quiet moment and every simple, like any simple time we have together or a friend and I have together. I think that I've spent a lot of my life like looking for what's next. Like everything's always around the corner. Like, okay, if I do this, then I'm going to get here. And yeah, today's filled with, a lot of busy work, but then tomorrow is like that big party. I'm going to get to that party and I miss everything. And then that doesn't help with my anxiety because it's just then always just in this hamster wheel of like, where to next? And 2022, I feel like really taught me that it's like, it sounds so cliche, but like I have a hard time ever remembering it as like today is what I have. And it's so valuable. So in 2023, I'm like, I really want to just like sit like in this moment. I'm like, I'm here with my husband who I love so much. I'm here with Lee and I cherish you so much. And like everyone listening who's here with us and getting ready to go on this journey with us. Like I treasure it so much. And just like, this is it. And soak it up and give people their flowers while they're here. Telling people how much you love them, like even if it's awkward, looking into their eyes and being like, I want you to know I love you so much.
Oh, yeah.
And I cherish you so much and don't let that pass because I felt that a lot this year and or in 2022. And so I don't know, I'm just like 2022, he's like, you're my best friend. I love you so much. And I've always known that, but 2022 like cemented that so much for me that I'm like, oh my God, like this is it. Like this is the big stuff.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, what I like about what you said is like, people talk a lot about presence, being present and everything. But what I like about what you're saying is like, there's a positive spin on it. It's just like, it's almost like a practicing thankfulness, like you're saying like, hey, I want to be present, but I also want to like realize how good it is and how much good is in this moment and how much good is in this person I'm talking to. How much beauty is in this sunrise or whatever it is. It's kind of like you're focusing on a cherishing element.
Right.
And I think that's so important because it's like, we were looking at this video, that you made of kind of the last year and we were talking and it was like, it felt like the year was great, but it did feel like there was a lot of hard times and a lot of like struggle. But then if you look at all our pictures that we took on our phones, it's like, great time after great time after great time after great time. Even if it's just playing in your front yard, you're going, we were smiling at how much fun it was, but you weren't, not you, but we weren't sitting there going, look at how awesome this is. You're just thinking, okay, we got to make sure we get to the thing. And after this, let's wrap this up and get there. It's like, you're not soaking in how good actually things are.
And that's the thing. So, and exactly what you're saying. It's like, it's not this idea, which I don't like, this idea of like the toxic positivity where it's like, no, everything's good. Just like focus on the positive and just plow through and there's no hard times. It's like, I realize that I'm really, really bad at slowing down and I'm really bad at not just thinking about the next thing. I really struggle with that. And so I'm like in those moments where I'm thinking like, and I'm like, okay, I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do this. But in this moment, what I'm doing right now is I'm driving in the car. I'm next to Evan. I'm holding your hand. Uh-oh. Here come the tears. But I'm holding your hand and I'm like, and I have you right now. And in that moment, I'm like, I really want to do a good job of being like, okay, yeah, I got a ton of shit I need to do tomorrow. But right now I'm holding your hand and you're with me here now and nothing's promised. And I want to just sit and do a really good job about like soaking in the simple, small moments because I let all that shit fly by, you know?
Really hard not to.
Yeah.
Really hard not to. I feel the same. I mean, definitely, you know, I think about that. And my kind of version of this, my word or phrase or whatever you want to say, I would say is get outside. And so when we did Thomas last year, who, if you guys don't know, he was the medium we met with last year.
Love Thomas.
And Jessica Lignato,
the queen,
who does all the astrology. She's amazing. And they both told me, like, you got to get outside.
Yeah.
And at first I was thinking about the fact, I was like, first of all, yes, nature, like, and being outside is like, it gives me life,
healing,
you know, it's healing. But then I also thought about this thing where to connect to kind of what you're saying, which is when I'm inside, I'm seeing everything I need to clean. My computer's right there. I need to answer emails. My, phone is right there. I need to hop, you know, whatever, scroll through some bullshit. It's like there's always something staring at me and screaming at me saying, do. But when you're outside, there is no, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're just, what am I going to, like, if I'm in the forest, I'm at the beach, like, there's nothing to do other than just be there and just enjoy and be like, feel the earth and, you know what I mean? Like, be there. And it's like, so for me, it's like, get outside and bring you with me. So it's like, bring Ember and Jess with me, you know, and if bring Ember into that world and say, hey, you got to get out, you know, you got to feel, you got to get grimy and gross and, you know, just like be a part of that again, you know? Because for me personally, I'm not saying that's how it is with everybody, but for me personally, when I'm inside too long, I start to just be overwhelmed by like to-dos and these concepts and these things. And then I'm not present at all. I'm not cherishing at all. I'm just like checking boxes. And then a week goes by and it was like, well, even was that week? It was just a box checked. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
So.
I like that.
Yeah. I feel like, which is the point of that is me saying like, I'm going to put myself in a position to be able to be present and cherish and whatever. And that is my position. Like my position is getting outside. It allows me to kind of like relinquish all those things, you know?
I like that a lot. Well, I'm excited to do both of those things, like as a family and do it all together. And you know what? I'm going to cherish every moment. And maybe sometimes we can record the podcast outside.
Honestly, that's a great idea.
We'll move it to the front lawn. And so all the cars passing by can see us. And we
should do like a camp, like a fire.
Yeah,
where we like
nice.
Fireside chat.
Ooh, that's nice and cozy.
Don't steal that, anyone.
The crackling of the fire. Ooh, that feels real good. That feels real good. Well, thanks for sharing that.
Thanks for bringing that up. I think that's really important, especially starting this podcast too. Is like, even just right now, sitting here, the temptation could be, you know, have fun, be engaging, you know, talk about fun things, have a good time, blah, 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 blah. And then it's over and you're kind of like, whew, what happened?
Yeah.
But it's like, or we could just be like, oh, I'm sitting in this chair with two amazing people, with my beautiful wife, like sitting here like, oh, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like we're just talking and having a blast. Yeah. Like this is special.
Yeah. I love it.
I love you.
Love you too.
Cute.
We love you too, Lee.
Yeah, we love you.
Love you guys.
Oh, cute.
Okay, well, here's the thing. We got some important business to attend to. So, family. We have created this podcast. And also here's the thing too about this podcast. We're moving with what you all are enjoying. Like this is a moving entity. We're going to see where it goes. We're going to see what people like. We're going to see what we like. We're going to let it flow and go. But the basis for this is you're coming into our living room once a week, given some maybe okay advice, given our opinions that might just, sometimes be off kilter, but here they are.
Like any good parent.
Like any good parent, you know what I mean? We try. And so we're going to be talking about all sorts of advice and what's going on in our lives and processing that, having some interviews with some exciting guests. But a big focus of this is, listen, what we loved doing with Chatty Broads was talking reality TV.
Yes.
And I like doing that from the perspective of, two people who have never been on the show.
Yeah, exactly, right? Exactly.
But you know what? We still have our takes, and we're going to be going over all different reality TV shows, different pop culture news.
Yeah.
So we thought for our first episode, it would be important to try out a segment. And we'd like to call this segment Reality TV Roulette. Reality.
Which one's Roulette? Roulette's the throw one? Yeah, Roulette's the throw one, right? Okay, yeah.
Reality TV Roulette. And this is a segment where we're going to spin that magical Zoom wheel. In this segment, we are going to spin that magical Zoom wheel, and we're going to see what reality TV star pops up to answer one of our questions. And here's the thing. We're going to do this time, we're going to do Bachelor Alum Roulette Edition, because we told you all we cannot resist the first reality TV show we're going to be covering is we got to do The Bachelor.
You have
Zach
to.
Season.
That's home base for us.
It's home base. Zach's season is coming up in a couple weeks. So we are going to do Bachelor Alumni Reality TV Roulette. And in this specific edition, we thought that it would be interesting to spin that exciting Zoom wheel, see what Bachelor alum will pop up. And we want to get advice from the inside. I want to hear, listen, we're your mom and dad, right? Here we are. We're the parents. We're giving advice about shit that we know about or that we don't know about. What we don't know about is what it's like to be on a reality TV show. So I want to hear from Bachelor alumni what pieces of advice they would give to contestants either going on the show, who are currently on the show, or getting off. I want that inside. Like, what is it like if we're on a phone call with an alum talking to someone who's going to be coming off of Zach's season or going on?
Which is invaluable.
I think so.
I mean, I'm not going to be like your dad, like the classic dad that won't ask for directions.
Well, no, we're going to ask for directions
here, baby. We're growing, we're changing. And I'm going to say, hey, instead of getting my family lost on this family trip, I'm going to go, hey, what should people be doing on the show?
Thank you, King. We take out that toxic masculinity and we put in, we're asking for the directions. And we're going to ask in this segment of Reality TV Star Roulette Bachelor Edition alums, give the contestants the BTS advice.
Let's do it.
Listen, there might be people listening to this podcast right now who want to audition.
Dude.
So
for sure.
we want to hear the advice. You want to know before you get into it, and we want to know before recapping it.
Yes.
We got to know what it's like from their perspective, right? Mm-hmm. So before we dive into the Zoom roulette
this
wheel,
is awesome. You guys are going to love this.
I'm so excited. We got to take a quick pause.
Yes.
Quick pause. Listen, everyone, I know for myself, the start of the new year, it always feels like the right time to schedule doctor's appointments and check in with where you're at health-wise. But what about your reproductive health? This is truly so important. We need good data and information about our bodies in order to have informed conversations with doctors and make the best decisions for ourselves and exactly what we want, what you want specifically for your future, whatever that may be. That's why Modern Fertility was created. It's an easy and affordable way to test your fertility hormones at home with a simple finger prick. I have done this. It is so easy. You get the finger prick, you mail it in with a prepaid label, and you'll get your personalized results within 6 business days. It's so fast. You'll get insight into your hormone levels, like your ovarian reserve, which is if you have more or fewer eggs than average for your age, and other important factors that can impact your fertility. And the results, they go deep into what every hormone means, and you can also download the results to review with your doctor for next steps, which is what I did. They make it so convenient. And traditional hormone testing at a fertility clinic can cost over $600, but modern fertility tests, the same general set of hormones for only $179. And if you go to modernfertility.com/chatty, you can get $20 off your test. So if you want kids today or maybe one day in the future or not at all, whatever you want for your future, clinically sound information about your body can help you make the decision that's right for you.
Right now, Modern Fertility is offering our listeners $20 off the first test when you go to modernfertility.com/chatty. That means your test will cost $159, which is a fraction of what it would cost at a fertility clinic. Get $20 off your fertility test when you go to modernfertility.com/chatty. modernfertility.com/chatty.
So if your New Year's goals are to manage your budget better and save money, hi, it's me. It's me. I know we're talking about New Year's resolutions. That is something I am attempting to do this year, is to honestly manage my budget better and save that money, which is why I would highly encourage you to join me using Rocket Money. Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill, is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. I have to tell you all, when I got Rocket Money and saw how many subscriptions that I was signed up for that I had no idea about, the amount of money was staggering.
It's crazy.
It was staggering.
It's crazy how it just leaks out in little bits.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I have been using these guys for the last 2 years, well before they sponsored the podcast.
Oh yeah.
So like they're
fantastic.
Tried and true. And we're not alone. Over 80% of people have subscriptions they forgot about. Like that streaming service you bought to watch just one show. Oh, I'm so guilty of that. Or just free just a free trial that you have never used. Well, Rocket Money makes it easy to fix that. In fact, they make canceling subscriptions as easy as a click of a button. Just find the subscription you don't want and press cancel, and Rocket Money will cancel it for you. No more nightmare long hold times in customer service or tedious email back and forth. It's the worst.
Yes.
Over 3 million people have used Rocket Money, saving the average person up to $720 a year.
And like Evan said, we are 2 of those 3 million people. Okay, so a personal thank you to Rocket Money for making it so easy for me to cancel those subscriptions. I don't need the app that lets me insert funny dog and cat images into every photo. It was cute, but I don't need to be paying for it. It was great, but I don't need to be paying for it monthly, okay? Stop throwing that money away, cancel unwanted subscriptions, and manage your expenses the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/chatty. That's rocketmoney.com/chatty, rocketmoney.com/chatty. All right.
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Let's do this thing.
Are you ready to try this new segment?
I am so excited.
Are you ready to spin the reality TV roulette Zoom wheel Bachelor Edition? Bwah, 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 bwah. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right. Who's going to be the first person? Who do you think?
I have no idea.
Let's see. Let's see. And oh my God, it's Deandra.
Hey, let's go.
Thank you so much. This is such an amazing surprise.
Hey guys.
I am such a big fan of yours. I'm so excited to have you on as our first Zoom surprise. This is so exciting. Do you mind if we ask you a question?
Of course.
Okay, so you are famously known for having one of the most iconic entrances ever. You came out on Pete's season, gorgeous gown with the windmill. You know, it was incredible. Also, you just had such amazing energy. So my question is, what is a piece of advice that you would give for contestants arriving that first night?
I would say use your unique personality trait as like your superpower for the night. So if you're awkward, do something that's a little awkward. If you're quirky, do something that's quirky. If you're confident, do an entrance that's going to exude whatever your personality, that's uniqueness, makes you special. That's like the biggest thing. Oh, and be careful when you're walking on the driveway because it's very slippery.
Oh no!
Very slippery.
Wow.
Have you seen any falls?
I haven't, but they have to spray it down with water to give it like that dark, gleamy look. So if you're walking in heels, please do not fall.
Lord knows. Maybe put one of those little sticky pads underneath the shoes, some sort of grip tape on the shoes beforehand.
Exactly. So as you're walking in heels, be very careful.
Okay. And what about nerves that first night?
I would say it's nerve-wracking. It was honestly like I blacked out. Like, I was at the end of the driveway, and then before I knew it, I was inside the house. So nerves, I would say if you can have a glass of champagne before, usually they have like something like that. And then also just realize it's almost like a first date. It's just like a glorified first date. So we all go on dates, you know, kind of like bring it down to earth in your mind. He's just a human. So it's just a regular person. It's not, you know, it's nothing.
It's true. It's not a god. You're not coming
exactly. It's not a god. It's not a celebrity. It's, you know, it's a real person.
Do you feel like, because some people walk up and are just like, hey, little quick line and that's over. And then there's like more like people like you that come in with like a real plan and a whole thing.
Right.
If you had to err on one side, would you say come in with like bang or just keep it simple? Like after your experience?
Definitely come in with a bang. In my opinion, I forget the people who do the one lines.
Right. Like, that's true.
Make it special. Like make him feel like you put some thought into showing your personality in that first moment. Because that's really the biggest part. I feel like since you don't get a ton of time with him the first night, he's going to remember your entrance if you do something like crazy good.
Absolutely. Yeah. Especially when there's a million names to remember.
I don't know how they do it. It's insane.
No clue. Well, you see him after. They're always like, shit, what was the name?
Exactly.
Okay. I had a side question, and this is more of just a personal thing that I'm working through, which is you're kind of like a fashion icon and your fashion's amazing.
It's the best.
Pre like the pandemic, my fashion was decent. And then I just kind of retired into like one pair of sweatshorts and like a long sleeve shirt for the last 3 years.
It's been the same outfit.
Anyway, so my question is like, give maybe some tips for just getting back into the fashion, you know, getting back into like, okay, how do we ramp this up without jumping too hard? You know what I mean? Like a nice
transition.
Yes.
I would say some fashion tips. Take those sweats and dress them up. Like I'm so big on taking something comfortable and then adding like a chic top or like, you know, cool accessory to make it look a little nicer. I'm a big believer in comfort. So that same sweat, whatever pants or even wear
shorts.
Sweat shorts, maybe like a cool pair of sneakers or like maybe like a cool jacket. You can wear it out, like transition it into like outerwear.
I like that because it's non-judgmental too. You know what I mean? You're not judging me for my sweatshorts. You're allowing me to live in my comfort, you know? Okay, good. I appreciate it. I'll work on it.
Absolutely. I have the same sweats that I wear almost every day too. I just,
It started getting bad when Jess was like, again, okay.
I didn't say anything for a while.
Great. It's been 2 years now. So I think it's time to maybe change it up.
I love that.
Thank you so much, Deandra. We so appreciate it. Anything that you want to let our audience know about that you have coming out? Obviously, they got to check you out on Instagram because, like Evan said, the fashion. Inspiration.
Right.
Well, I appreciate that you guys think that I'm a fashion icon. That makes me really happy.
You are.
Stay up to date with my YouTube. I do discussions with Dee. It's been a while since I've posted one, but I really want to be consistent with that. And that's something I want to do in the future. So stay tuned for my YouTube and just keep up with me on Instagram.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Of course. No problem. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate you.
Of course. See ya.
She is so beautiful. I'm a little bit like, okay, all right, we're gonna get into our next contestant, but I'm like, wow, thank you so much to Deandra. All right.
Okay.
Who are we gonna have next? Who is next? Who is next? Who is next? Who is next? And oh my God, speaking of gorgeous, we have Elise in the building. It's our friend.
It's our party pal.
It's our party pal.
I never want to hang out with you guys again unless it's long distance.
It's too dangerous. It's too.
No way.
I think LA is still waiting on their like tequila volume to come back in their shipment after us hanging out together.
Yes.
So it's the best for everyone if we just do this maybe once a year.
The hangover lasted the last time we hung out for me about like 4 to 5 days. So yeah, we gotta take a minute before we see each other in person.
This is a much safer option.
Oh, yes. Well, Elise, here's the thing. Can I ask you a question?
Always.
Thank you. You are the friend, and this is the truth. Elise is our friend. And if you like, Elise is the type of person that everyone needs an Elise in their life. You are just like the best friend ever. I wish you lived, for the health of our hangovers, maybe not, right next door, but I wish you lived closer. But here's my question. In regards to friendships, I wondered if you had a piece of advice for contestants going into The Bachelor, The Bachelorette with building friendships in the mansion in such a high stress environment. If you had a piece of advice, because Evan and I were talking the other day and we were wondering, we're like, is it better to just go in and focus on the lead, or is it better to like go in, focus on friendships and then see if love organically happens? Can you do both? I mean,
you have to do both just for survival, because you're cut off from friends, family, news, TV, phone, books, like any outlet to, not focus on the situation happening around you. So you have to make friends. I did it. Maybe this could be seen as a little bit manipulative, but whatever gift you have, use it. So I've been a makeup artist for 12 years, and I was thank you. I was fortunate enough that I had roses the first couple ceremonies, so I had extra time. I wasn't doing as many interviews, so I just started offering like, hey, do you want me to help you with your makeup? Do you want me to help you with your hair? Wow. And as we all know, you tell your hairstylist absolutely everything. Mm-hmm. So it was my way of kind of being quiet and being helpful so that no one was mad at me, right? They're like grateful that I'm doing this, helping them in this time crunch, because it is a lot of hurry up and wait on this show. Mm-hmm. So my experience is use whatever gifts you have. If you have the gift of gab, be the one that's in all the girl chats, boy chats, that's what they call them. Be the one that's kind of in the know, so you have a little understanding of what's going on when you're not there, because there's a lot of times where you're not invited on dates. You're not part of the day out experience. You're just hanging out at the hotel or at the mansion, whatever. So it was kind of my way of getting investigative journalist, if you will.
I'm going to call it deep undercover spy instead of investigative journalist. Because you're like, oh yeah, you're just like, oh, here's just them do this service for you, no problem. Not knowing that you're like, an undercover agent who's
a deep conditioning treatment.
Yeah.
Finding out.
Yeah. It kept me aloft on what was going on.
I like that. That's a slick
throughout the
move.
house, and like what people weren't vibing and why. So then I could kind of form my own opinions when you don't always get a lot of time right away to make opinions based on anything besides like surface level conversation.
Mm-hmm. And what would your advice be then because of course there's lots of different personalities and you never know who's gonna, you're meeting all different people. What about advice for dealing with all sorts of different personalities in a confined space?
This is going to sound a little bit silly unless you've been through this experience. Probably everyone to some degree journals during it, because it's the one thing that's off limits to production. It's also off limits. I think we all understand it's off limits to each other. I never saw that would be disrespected. So you would have time here and there to just jot down your true and honest feelings about it and kind of process. Buy a journal, buy 3 of them, because that is the only time that you're going to be able to sort through your thoughts, quote unquote, alone. You might have 3 people journaling around you, but that's really the only time that you're going to have to not have other people's influence or them in your ear telling you how you feel about a situation.
Interesting.
A moment of peace. Solidarity.
So what you're saying then is, if you want to be a true evil villain, go through everyone's journals, and then if you want privacy, make sure if you're going to go on the show, bring a lock for your journal.
Like a little padlock for your journal, maybe.
Okay,
like
good.
the
That's
old
good
school
enough.
little key.
Right. Okay,
go to those big ass locks, just full padlock.
Right. Okay, great.
Retina scan.
Yeah.
That's what we need. Oh,
Awesome.
Elise, we love you so much. Thank you for being just the best friend ever. We so appreciate you.
Always. And soon, once our livers recover, I'll be back in LA.
Amazing.
In person.
Well, in the meantime, everybody go check out A Case of the Sunday Scaries, Elise's podcast. It is amazing. Anything for our audience to know that you want to share?
Yeah, it's been kind of heavy on my heart to do a series that is more personal to my story instead of just always covering other people's story. So starting, well, as you hear this, I'm sure it's the first episode is already out, but I'll be sharing my history of abuse and then talking with professionals about how to have resources to get out of that safely if that is a situation that you or a loved one finds themselves in, unfortunately.
You're amazing. We love you so much, Elise.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Who do you think is going to be next?
I don't know, but I'm excited.
I can't wait. Let's see. Who could it be?
Let's go.
And it is Dr. Joe. Are
Dr.
you
Joe.
kidding me?
Hey, what's up, guys? How are you?
Joe, thank you so much for joining us. Fresh from work, I believe, too. Yes?
Just got in the door 10 minutes ago, threw some hairspray in, and yeah, here I am.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you for getting so glam for us.
Sorry, I didn't have time to put the lipstick on, but
you know what? Next time. It looks great. Do you mind if we ask you a question, Dr. Joe?
I don't mind at all. Shoot.
Okay. So obviously, we all know the moment that you entered the screens, all of America fell in love with you. It was like a wave of obsession with Dr. Joe. So everyone felt very passionate about loving you. And also, it was clear that you were so beloved in the house. But I have a question for you about conflict in the house. Obviously, high stress situation, production, late nights, there's bound to be conflict. So I was wondering if you could give a piece of advice to any contestants going on the show in the future for handling conflict or drama. What would that advice be?
Sure. First of all, I just want to say it's hard to avoid. I mean, when you think about the situation where you have a bunch of young testosterone-laden men who are all put in a competition, vying for the love of the same woman, away from family and friends, with not able to go to the gym 7 times a day that they normally do, with a dash of alcohol and a lot of late nights. You're gonna have, it's a perfect storm for conflict. So I think it's gonna happen.
Yes.
But I do think, one, if you focus on your relationship with the person, the man or the woman, the lead, and you really work on that relationship, you think about that, all the other stuff is kind of just noise in the background. And you're really just trying to the point of you being there is really to get to know somebody on a very, very deep level, which can be hard. And you have such little time that you really want to try to maximize the time that you have. So that will be part of it. In addition, I think even amongst the people there are so many people that will come together. All the other contestants, they're all from such different walks of life, different parts of the country, all have different jobs and backgrounds and interests and stories. And it's harder to get into a fight with somebody who you've, had a beer with and actually spoken to and gotten to know a little bit. And so when you realize that person who you may not be seeing eye to eye with at a certain point is actually reasonable and you actually had some good moments with them, I think that goes a long way also.
I think that's fantastic. Beautiful.
I don't know if we should have asked the guy who clearly seems like he wouldn't have a conflict problem. You know what I mean? Like he seems like he perfectly knows how to deal with all this drama. He's like, here, well, you just share a beer with someone, meanwhile other guys are like, it's over for you.
I know. Throw me on the stage of The Bachelor, and I know that I would just be conflict left and right with my drama personality.
That's great.
Part of that's true too. It's going to be based on the person also. I mean, some people I think there's two groups of people get into conflicts on the show. One are people who in life may be just a little more excitable, and that's just how some people are, and you can't change that.
Yeah.
I think the more interesting subset of people would be the ones who, again, it's a produced show. There are producers on the show. And there may be some people who think it might be a good idea to get into a conflict, whether or not they really feel that strongly, but to kind of, play it up a little bit for screen time, for just to give it to the people outside the crowd, give it to the people.
Yeah.
But I think if you look back, I'm no expert on the show. You guys probably definitely know better than I do. But in the end, especially since there is post-processing, there's editing that goes on after the fact, as right as you think you are and as justified as you think you are. It generally, I think, based on the people I know who have been involved in altercations, it generally doesn't go well afterwards. And it's a Faustian bargain. You may get more screen time, but there's a lot of negativity that comes with that. And I think for people in that second camp who are kind of want to do it for screen time, they should really think about it and just think about whether or not that's the kind of energy they want directed at them during or after. I don't know how many winners have been in very significant conflicts on the show and actually had a great relationship with somebody.
Right.
I think at least the ones that I've known who have gone on and been done well on the show and have formed real connections with the lead, they kind of stayed out of the fray and kind of just did kind of what I said initially, which was just try to get to know somebody.
Right. That's great advice. If I ever go on a reality TV show, I'm going to keep this in mind. Don't just try to get all the dramatic screen time to have my moment.
You because you are a doctor and the way you're speaking, it just is so calm. It's like, it's putting me in, I need a little bit of health advice. Okay. So this has nothing to do with what we're talking about. I apologize for derailing this, but like, I feel like I'm in the doctor's office right now. Like you're like just smoothly talking. Here's what we need to do. Here's what'll be healthy.
What do you need?
I have an issue. Like,
I'm like,
do
what
we
is
need to be drinking all this water? Okay. This is like a thing I'm struggling with right now. Like people are carrying around huge gallons of water. Am I just not that thirsty? I have like a glass a day and I'm good, but everyone's dry. It's like 40 gallons. Like, what am I doing something wrong?
Not the water.
Listen, I think if that's the water thing. I mean, it's obviously it's healthy to drink water. I think a lot of studies.
That's your opinion. That's your opinion.
That's my opinion. My opinion.
Yeah. Don't put that on me.
Of research studies that have been done. But I think part of it is also I know like people that I know drink it when you're feeling hungry. Like if you just have some water, it also helps you kind of bridge that little gap. So
got it.
I mean, I can't tell you the obviously without it you'll die. So there's extremes here.
All right. Hey, I'll go with that.
Yeah.
Okay. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Joe.
Drink the water, Evan.
Okay, chill.
Thank you, Dr. Joe, for letting him know that he needs to drink water and try to get over this anti-water brigade this man has been on for years. I appreciate you for giving my husband a longer life. Thank you so much. We so appreciate you. Thank you. Your Instagram, anything else that the listener should be aware of that you have maybe coming out? We love your Instagram for all of your videos and your medical updates. It's amazing.
Thank you. I'm not on it very much, honestly. I think I'm just not a big fan of social media. But if there's any health issue that arises, I'll definitely post about it. But as far as next year, I'm just going to be kind of just plugging along with my life. I've got great friends, great family, and just happy where I am. So
wow,
just want to keep it rolling.
Beautiful.
Love that.
All right.
Well, Dr. Joe, you're just the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. It was fun. It's fun chatting.
Awesome.
Bye. All right. I'm excited. Who's next?
Who we got next?
And who is it? It's Ivan Hall. Oh my God. Ivan, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing really good. The weather here in Dallas is like 70 degrees right now, and it's the middle of the winter, so I'm very happy right now. But thanks for having me, and congrats on the new podcast.
Thank you so much for coming on. Do you mind if we ask you a question?
Of course.
Okay. So one of the things that I loved about watching you on The Bachelorette was that you were always willing to really dive into really important conversations. And so my question is, if you were to give advice to a contestant going on the show, obviously the show, it's an expedited process trying to find love. What would your advice be for a contestant to get into those really important relationship conversations in kind of this pressure cooker situation?
Yeah, no, it's such a tough situation. And kind of what I did, I felt like in the beginning, I'm like, all right, I'm going on this reality dating show. The expectation is to propose at the end of it. Like, how can I get myself to be mentally and get this relationship ready to the point where I feel comfortable proposing there, whoever the bachelorette is. So like in the beginning, I was like, all right, so we got to talk about, family, then we got to talk about careers, then we got to talk about who knows, whatever religion next. So I kind of have it mapped out in my head, like what's most important to me and how I want to go about that. But I will say, so you have to be intentional with these conversations. You can't just like ignore them. And then all of a sudden you end up, at the end and you haven't had these talks. But I would also say you don't want to force it. And that's like the tough thing. It's like a balancing act. You don't want to go in there the first day, tell your whole life story, dump all the stuff on this girl that you just met. You have to take some time to just vibe with her, chill first, and just see how that actual just like, just fun connection is first before you start. You may not even like the person, really. So you don't want to just
oh my God. Yeah.
That's what, and that's what I think was kind of interesting about our season was it's almost like we had a do-over since we had Claire and then Tayshia. Like everybody kind of had practice because I think some guys were panicking. Some guys were trying to figure out how to get Claire's attention, telling her too much or whatever. And then second time it was just more relaxed. We just got to, we kind of already knew the process was like really a cheat code for us. And that helped a ton, honestly, just going through it once and then getting a do-over right after. But yeah.
That makes so much sense. I didn't even think about that you were able to kind of get in flow a little bit beforehand.
Yeah, because you walk up and you're like, hi, here's where I work out. Here's where I hang out. Here's the food I eat. Here's my religion. Like, does that check
Here's
your
my
boxes?
life ambitions. Like, so much.
Here's how many children I want. Yeah,
like, imagine going up to someone at a bar and just being like, here's my checklist. Does that work with you? And they're like, I don't even know you yet. That's a tough balance.
Exactly. Like, like the quick conversations in these group dates and whatever, like, especially the first one or two, like, don't make it too deep. I would not make them too deep at all. And then if you get the one-on-ones or of course the, fantasy suites, hometown dates, you have to dive into some stuff. And that's the good thing about the fantasy suites is where you get to really like dig in about everything and really uncover some stuff because that's the most amount of time you get to spend with each other.
Right. And then you have your off-camera moments, which I'm sure is a relief. Major relief. And kind of stressful too, though, because you're like, don't know how this is about to go, but right.
I had a side question. Thinking about coming off the show and kind of, having watched it before, after the whole thing. Do you have any advice for listeners? Viewers, listeners. Do you have any advice for viewers? Almost just kind of like, hey, something to think about when you're watching these people, because like. From our perspective, we only have the one angle, the edit, the everything. Do you have kind of like a, hey guys, think about this when you're watching this or when you're watching this? Yeah.
I mean, my biggest advice for the viewers is just like, have fun with it, relate to it, but don't take it completely seriously. Like it's just the extreme stuff where, I don't know, like if you have the nerve to go on somebody's like social media and DM them something negative, like just don't do that. Just go say something positive to the person you like instead. Just replace it. Like there's no need to do the extra negative stuff. Like, because in some cases it may not really be that person's fault because it is, edited and stuff. So, a lot of times it is, but in some cases it may not be. So you never really know too. There's just, I don't know. I especially for myself, like, and since I'm a fan of the show now, I just watch it for like fun, really. Like, don't, this is not live or die. Everybody's learning, everybody's young for the most part. And you're just they're just trying to figure things out. And just go with it. It's reality TV at the end of the day. So I just say, don't take it too seriously and spread positivity instead of negativity.
I love that.
Well, I disagree. You should watch it like it's the truth and that there's nothing going on and then everything that you see is exactly what happened. No. We hear you though.
But I love what you said, the idea of if you're about to send a negative DM to someone, instead DM someone that you really enjoyed from the show and send them something positive.
Exactly. Just replace all the negativity with positivity. And
a nice reverse switch. Ivan, thank you so much for coming on the Vibe podcast.
Yes. Yeah, check us out. Myself and DeMar Jackson are on the Vibe podcast, and it's going well. And we've been doing it for a few months, and he's one of my best friends. Met him on the show, and it's just so easy when you're getting the podcast with somebody that you're just so close with. Obviously, case in point with you guys.
Yes.
I don't know who this guy is, but
we're still figuring it out. Yeah.
But we love the podcast. Everybody make sure to check it out. Ivan, we so appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Much love. Thanks for having me.
Okay, let's see who's next. It's like the Wheel of Fortune, right?
Yeah, but this is roulette, so this is like the ball one. Yeah. Like, let's toss the ball.
And let's see who's next. Oh my God, Mike Johnson is in the building.
How are y'all?
My forever bachelor. It is so good to see
Yo,
you.
babe, chill, babe, chill.
Okay, chill. I appreciate you so much. So happy to see you guys.
Oh, Mike, this makes my heart so happy. Do you mind if we ask you a question?
No, absolutely. Let's do it.
Okay, so if you could give one piece of advice to anyone coming off of The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, what would it be? I'm talking like we are seeing Mike Johnson having a private phone call with a contestant that is just coming off of the show, coming into the real world post all of this. What would that piece of advice be?
Okay, so if I've done this actually before. I hit up Dean Unglert before going on the show.
Oh,
and
okay.
he gave me some advice. And so I've been blessed to be in that position now. So I'll give y'all, if it's just me and one of the homies that are talking before they go on and after.
Okay.
I have like a five-piece series. You know how you get a 2-piece chicken?
Yeah.
This is going to be a 5-piece.
You got the
I never go 2-piece, dude. Are you kidding me?
There we go,
It's always the
there we go.
5-piece.
There you go. So first and foremost, I know it's cliche, but this is the only cliche one. Go for the right reasons, right? Mm-hmm. This is an opportunity to find love when both people are on the same page at the same time. Hopefully, if everyone abides by that, right?
Sure.
Number 2, scrub your social media before Reddit scrubs your social media. Like, quite honestly, or your character arc will sadly be a perception of reality of what we see to you to be today, which unfortunately may be something that you did when you were 14 years old, but we're going to see it today and judge you off that today's climate. And I truly mean that. Third, I would say, third, what would it be? Present your best self forward. Seriously, whether you take that to be physical, your attitude, your personality, like this young lady or this young man is getting to see you, and so is America. So don't be looking ugly. You know what I mean? And that could be personality wise too. You know.
Mike, this is easy for you to say. You know what I'm saying?
I said don't be an asshole either. You can't be a dick out here. There's plenty of dicks in the world. Come on now.
Yeah,
true.
Of course.
Second to last one, I would say is I would be remiss if I wasn't honest. And this is a wonderful opportunity to get a whole ass load of nepotism. And so therefore, be prepared, right? The definition of luck is when an opportunity meets preparation. So you get lucky as AF to get on this show. If you are prepared and have done something, utilize this to network. And I truly mean that, so that you can grow economically and just level your life up. I truly mean that. I don't care what no one says. That's the truth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, use that opportunity for sure.
That would be and then lastly, effing smile and just laugh your way through it. You're going to learn people so much better. People are assholes. That includes myself. I've said something derogatory about someone online. So you're going to grow tough skin and just smile through it. It's going to make you a better person.
I
love that. I need to work on that. Sometimes I think I'm smiling, and then I look and I see a picture of myself, and I'm just barely smirking. I'm like, what? I don't know what's wrong with me, dude.
You know, when I say smile, it's more of a attitude, right?
Got it. Okay, cool.
You know, just let shit rub off your shoulders at times, but then at other times, a lot of your haters, just prove them wrong. Who gives a damn if they say XYZ about me or y'all? They might be right. They might not be hating. They might be giving criticism, just in a harsh way.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Well, that is a wise 5-point plan. I appreciate that.
That's my 5-point plan.
I appreciate that. Listen up, contestants.
Amazing. After the show, did you were there some moments you were really proud of yourself? I seen other people do this, or I felt like I could have gone this route, but I didn't. But 100%.
This is a question I've never been asked. There's been so many, all of my homeboys, male friends, they say the dumbest shit.
Right.
They're like, you should do this. You should do this. I'm really happy that I stuck to my guns and kept true to myself.
Good.
I love that.
Any mistakes?
Definitely so. There were some people that I shouldn't have given time to. I'll say it like that.
Got it. Awesome.
I love that.
He's like, some individuals.
Is he gonna drop the names?
There will be some individuals who I cannot confirm or deny. I spent time with.
Hey, it's all about copyright and how you say things, how you word things. Right?
I love it.
I love it.
Amazing.
Mike, we so appreciate you. Is there anything that the people should be aware of to check out that you have coming up?
Yeah, definitely. Check out feelingseen.com. Part of that nepotism that I was saying is that I get to speak on beautiful platforms like y'all and tell people what's passionate that I'm working on. And I'm basically giving away free sex therapy to singles and people that are in relationships from all people that like different types of sexes and different sexuality. Feelingseen.com. Check it out.
Amazing. Check it out, everybody. We love you, Mike. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you, man.
Wow.
Appreciate you.
Have a good one.
See ya.
Okay, babe, who do we got next? Who is the Zoom roulette wheel going to bring us? Which Bachelor alumni? Who's it going to be?
Let's go.
And oh my God, it's Ashley I.
What's up?
Bachelor royalty. Thank you so much, Ashley, for joining us.
I loved popping in. I'm loving it.
Can we ask you a question? Would you mind? Okay. Well, especially now, you know, you being a mother, I'd love to have this angle as well. I would love to know if you have any advice for any future contestants of The Bachelor and Bachelorette when telling their family that they will be going on a reality TV dating show.
Advice for them. Well, okay, so my parents were very involved the entire time throughout like the application process. So,
oh wow.
So I don't know that I like had to tell. I guess I don't even remember when I told them that I got the actual call. But like my dad was not into it. He thought I was getting out of like I graduated with my master's in broadcasting literally like 6 months after I got the call.
Oh my God.
And before I got the call, and he was not down for it. He thought he didn't know like all the things that it could bring into my life. Sure. My mom was so gung ho. Like this was
she was stoked.
She was her dream come true because we had watched the show for like 5 years together, and she always thought I would be hilarious on it. And wow, I mean, mom was right. Look at the life that it brought me.
Yeah,
so my dad still to this day says that it was like the only time that he was steering me in the wrong direction.
Oh, so yeah, he's eating his words. I love it. So do you think that because you're saying they were involved with you the entire time through the application process, do you feel like that might be a way to let future contestants know like, hey, maybe have your parents be involved from the top? Or do you think it's better to just break it to them once you get the call?
I think, yes, might as well let them know and be like, hey, guess what I did today? I applied for The Bachelor. Oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe it. I got a call from The Bachelor. They want me to come into casting. Yeah, I think peppering it through is probably the best way.
Yeah, so you don't just pull the quick one too of like, by the way, I'm going to be gone for like 6 weeks or 2 months, potentially. Yeah. You might see me on television.
Here's another good question you guys can ask a next pop-in. How do you break it to your employer that you're going to be on The Bachelor?
I mean, can you let us know what your thoughts are?
I literally I had just had an internship that was 6 months after graduation. I was looking for a job for 3 months, struggling to find it. And then I got the call that I was accepted onto The Bachelor. So I kind of halted that.
Ah, interesting. So you never got to the point where you had to tell your employer?
No. Jared, are you hearing me? How did you tell the restaurant that you're going on The Bachelor? They loved it, right? Yeah, they really loved it. So Jared was, he was a restaurant manager, and they thought it would be good for the restaurant to have,
yeah. I mean,
and
of course.
So many girls came in, and
they just had his photo in the window. It's like, you want to see?
Like, the celebrity one where you sign it, you put it on the wall.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, if you want to come in and see Jared, you got to at least buy a drink, have one dish.
I would have been the girl that drove up from Virginia and casually sat there and totally dolled up and being like, making sure that Jared was working that night so I could flip my number.
Genius.
I've never seen you before. I have no idea. It's just a meet cute. It's just organic.
It happened, going through the area. I'm on my way up to Boston.
Yeah.
Love it.
Genius.
Well, Ashley, we so appreciate you. Almost Famous podcast, of course. Make sure that you're tuning in. Anything else that our listeners could be on the lookout for with you?
You know, my other podcast, I Don't Get It. That's about millennial girl things. So it's pretty much up your audience's alley.
Love.
And my son is flying into frame. Do you want to show him yourself?
Oh my goodness, we have
Special guest.
The Dawson cameo. Oh, hello.
Oh my gosh, he just pumped. Yeah.
Oh
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Ma. Sending you so much love. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so we got our last roulette spin here. Let's see who our final Bachelor alumni could be.
Final one.
Who is it? It's Mari and Kenny.
Yo.
Oh my. Look at this beautiful couple. Oh my goodness. Thank you for joining us.
No, we're excited. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Oh my goodness. You guys, congratulations, first of all, Mari, with your win this year with Miss Intercontinental. And then I saw that you guys booked a wedding venue.
Did officially now.
My goodness, it's so exciting.
Let's
so
go.
exciting. Do you mind if we ask you a question?
Not at all. Ask away.
Sure.
Okay. So here's my question. Against all the odds, you two found your person on reality television, which is incredible. So now looking back, you've been home for a long time, engaged, getting married. If you could go back to that moment where you fell in love on the beach, if you could give yourself any piece of advice now looking back, what would you say?
I think mine would be to follow my gut more and not listen to my head so much, because they get in competition sometimes and impacts your decisions. So I would say stick with your gut.
Absolutely. Did that feel hard, like with cameras around, trying to trust the gut?
No, for sure. I mean, it does get to a point where you kind of forget that they're there, but then there are other moments where it's like, okay, do I want to do this? Like, I'm being recorded. Everything I say or do right now is going to be shown to the world. And then there are other moments where it's more of like an emotional thing where it's like, I have a feeling about this, but like my head's telling me something else. I don't know what to do. So.
Right. Absolutely. What about you, Kenny?
First I would tell myself to put some clothes on, probably.
I mean, come on. I mean, it was perfect for all the previews.
No way, man. Let's go.
I would say probably not to overthink everything. I guess it's pretty similar to what she just said, but when you're there and even just throughout the whole process, there's just, and this happens, I see it a lot. Like, everybody's thinking about like, what is this going to look like? Or how are people going to see this? And what are they going to think of me? And how am I going to look? And what's the edit going to look like? Instead of just sort of just letting things happen and just, I feel like more people would actually make it through this thing if they would just kind of let the guards down a little bit more couples, I guess I would say. Just because I just feel like it's just, and me and myself included when I was there, it's just, you're just constantly almost more worried about what is like the viewer is going to think of you, sort of, if that makes sense.
I can't imagine the not being in your head the whole time, just thinking about that. Of course. Yeah. Well,
do you ever forget? You know what I mean? Like once you're in it, do you ever forget that, like, like you kind of get used to the cameras, you get used to that, and then you're kind of just forgetting, because I'd imagine you first start and you're super hyper aware of that kind of that wall. But then after a while, do you kind of start to forget how to play it? You know what I mean? How to be perfectly behavior and all that, or how you're going to be perceived?
I would say yes, because on Matt James's season, of my season of The Bachelor, I was super hyper aware. I had just come off of competing at Miss USA, and like pageant girls are supposed to be like perfect poised. They don't get into trouble, whatever. And I was super aware all the time, like what I was doing, what I was saying, what I was and wasn't going to do, pertaining more so to what producers were asking me to do or say or whatever. Sure. I was very like, nope, not going to do this. The viewers aren't going to like that. Like the pageant fans aren't going to like that. And then once I got to Paradise, I was like, yeah, whatever. It was much easier, but that's also a much more relaxed and natural feeling environment. So there it is way easier to kind of forget that all the cameras are there.
Yeah. You do forget. You do
it does lessen, especially like our shoes. We were there for a while and all the way to the end. For me, like when it got closer, when me and her were like back together and it was getting closer to the end, I was probably overthinking a lot, just in general, of not just like what people would think about it, but just the fact that like, what does this look like when when we go home? So,
You're gonna have to like deal with this.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's just like any other relationship. I mean, you never know in any relationship, like what is it all gonna look like down the line.
That's true. You do a couple dates. You have a couple dates with somebody, and you get an energy, and then all of a sudden, after a few days, you find out new things.
Yeah,
that leads me to a little last question, which is when you guys got home, everything chilled out, like the fanfare went away. Was there anything surprising about each other that was like, I did not see that coming?
Well, I'll go first, I guess.
He's like, I got one.
He's got a list.
She was surprisingly messy when I first went to her apartment.
What?
No, I'm just
I was gonna say you never know, right? Like,
no, there wasn't, obviously, because we're still together and it's been obviously really well. So there was no huge red flag surprises. On a positive surprise, I think learning about how independent she was, because like she was living on her own in Maryland, basically, and not really had any family around, and she does everything herself. And I come from like my family's right down the street, and like my dad still like handles some of my finances and pays helps me pay my, not actually pays them, but puts the handles it for me.
Right.
I love that.
So you're like, can you help me with this, Mari, please?
Well, my mom was she worked at a bank forever, so like they always had my accounts and all that stuff, and they would like process my payments and all that. So I was like kind of coddled with that stuff. But she was like completely like handles all her business on her own, and me at my age, at her age, when I was her age, that was not even the case at all.
Right.
Love that.
Love that.
Amazing.
What about you, Mari?
I would say he is actually much more shy or like very sweet compared to, I think, what comes across on TV. And he told me on Paradise, he's like, yeah, like I don't really do the relationship thing. Like I'm not really like a romantic person, but like he is actually pretty thoughtful and like little things,
Those are some good surprises.
I know, those are positive surprises. I was like, when we first moved in together, there was a lot of positive surprises, but there's always a handful of the rough ones, but you know what? You work it out. You love each other.
The day-to-day stuff, like how you even just get up and leave for work or whatever. You know what I mean? Everybody's process. I meditate, I chill, I take an ice bath. Some people are like, no, I want to like turn the music on and like eat food and hang out. Like the lifestyle thing could be totally different.
Oh yeah, no, we're pretty much on the same page with like lifestyle stuff.
Yeah, we got
nice.
We got lucky with the move-in process because I lived alone. I mean, I had a roommate for a little while, but pretty much alone for a long time. So that's a big deal, like what you just said.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, congratulations to
yes,
no, yes, say it.
There we go. Finally.
Well, it's all centered around the bathroom. So one I talk about all the time is a toilet seat. He still leaves it up.
Classic.
Yeah.
But lately I have noticed, and he didn't do this before, but lately he keeps putting the toilet paper roll under instead of over.
Here.
Listen, I will say this: if that's how far you're reaching for something, you guys are doing very well.
You guys are just killing it, absolutely killing it. Also, too, I'm like, if that Mari, you sound very neat to me. If you're noticing that, I'm like, my toilet paper's across the room. I'm like jogging in between.
Paper's not even on the roll. What are you talking about? It's on the floor or something. Amazing.
Well, thank you guys so much, and so many congratulations to you. Is there anything that you both have coming up that you want to share with the audience at all?
I think it's really just about planning out this wedding at this point.
Yeah, we're trying to nail things down. We got the venue. I guess catering is up next. But it's the holidays right now, so we've kind of like had a little bit of a lull in terms of reaching out to vendors and like all that. So once the new year kicks in, we'll be picking back up and planning it out.
Amazing.
Well, thank you guys so much. We so appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
Bye.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Well, oh my God.
That was awesome.
Thank you so much to every single Deandra, Elise, Dr. Joe, Mike, Ivan, Ashley, Kenny, Mari. Like, holy smokes. Thank you, everyone. A lot of good advice, too. Like, great advice.
I feel like everyone had a really good kind of their spin on their experience. And I feel like it, I feel like what it does is not only if you are a new contestant coming up, it'll give you some advice, but also if you're a watcher, a viewer, it gives you just kind of some different like angles to when you're watching that person go through that thing. You're thinking, oh, they're probably thinking this.
Oh, 1,000%. Also, too, like before recapping it, it's like good for me to always remember. Like, and I loved Ivan's suggestion. If you're thinking about sending a mean, unhappy DM to a contestant, instead send a nice one to someone that you like.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Be nice, please. He's like, hey guys, be nice, please.
Yes, I like that. I love that.
We had a blast doing it too. If you guys liked it, let us know. Because that was,
please.
It was fun. I mean, we had a blast doing it.
I don't know. You know what? Maybe we want to do a Love is Blind in the future. We could do
make this a regular thing to some extent.
Maybe do a little Love is Blind roulette next in a future season.
I like her.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But speaking of segments, before we wrap this podcast, I think that it's time that we introduce a segment that will be a reoccurring, probably every episode segment, right? An episodic segment. Episodic segment. Where at the end of the episode, we have a moment called Call Home, where you send us your relationship, sex, life questions via a voicemail, and we answer them to the best of our ability.
When everything goes to shit, who do you call?
Well, it really just depends.
Okay, well, hold on. Okay.
Yeah, some people are looking at you going, call home.
I'm one of those people I probably wouldn't call him, but I'm just saying, like in an ideal movie-esque world, who do you call? You call your mom and dad for that, that advice that it's like, there's no friendships there. There's no like someone's giving you advice because they have an alternate angle. They just straight up give it to you.
And we're living a fantasy world right now. It's a fantasy world. This is the fantasy where, we're just your parents just waiting to chat with you on the phone.
We're waiting for you to call home. Why haven't you called?
Yeah, we're waiting for you. We want to hear from you. We want to hear your beautiful voice, sweetheart.
Why haven't you called? You know what I mean? All right.
Okay, so we have a voicemail or two today.
Yes.
But for the future, if you would like to be included potentially in this segment, if you go into the episode notes, we have the link where you can send
We'll put it up right here.
Put it up right here? Put it up right here? Amazing. And then in the episode notes, we have the link where you can just follow that link and you can easily leave a voicemail to potentially be featured in an upcoming episode.
Super easy. You just go on there, click, leave a voicemail, and that's it.
Easy peasy. So should we get it? Oh my gosh, should we do
it.
our
Call
first?
Home.
Call home.
Okay.
Hi, Mom and Dad. I'm so excited about this new pod and excited to just jump back in weekly and hear you guys talk about incredible topics. This question is about parenthood, and I was just wondering what your favorite stage or age and least favorite stage or age has been with Ember so far. And this is coming from a new mom with a barely 5-month-old baby. And I am just quite frankly exhausted, and I'm just looking just for the light at the end of the tunnel, quite frankly. So yeah, just give me some hope or shatter my dreams. I'm open to either. I just really want to know what you guys have to say, and yeah, excited to hear back, and I'm really thankful and excited for this show. Thank you.
Oh my, okay, first of all, Mama, sending you so much love and support.
It never gets better. Next caller? No, I'm just kidding.
and scene.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, I'll start.
Start.
I would say this. Obviously everyone is different. Everyone has like their specific stages that they love, and also that parenting is like so day to day. You can literally be going through a day as a parent and be like, this is the best day I've ever had with my child. And then everything can turn to shit and you're feeling guilty or you're stressing out and your child is having a rough day. Like it's so moment to moment. So in those times when you are feeling like so overwhelmed and exhausted, just know like, you're like, maybe in an hour it's going to shift, and it does always shift. But I will say this personally, and again, everyone's different. For myself personally, the first year was by far the hardest. Like by a mile. I was, I think per anyone who has a child, you're not getting any sleep. You're having to get up every couple hours and feed the baby. And I mean, it's just, you're also trying to find your footing and your body's changing and your hormones. And there's just so many things. You're trying to find your schedule and your pace a little bit and your rhythm. But everything seems to change every month. All of a sudden you're like, I feel like I got my rhythm down. And then your kiddo like has a leap in development, and then everything shifts again and you have to schedule around different everything's always changing, and it's hard to find your footing. So for myself, absolutely, that first year was the hardest. So I just, Mama, want to send you love and know, like, from my perspective, there is 1,000% a light at the end of the tunnel, and be so gracious with yourself, because your body's on overdrive. You're just, there's so much exhaustion. And
you also like don't know what you're doing yet. You know what I mean? Like you're figuring it out day to day. So it's not like it's also that pressure and fear of just kind of like, am I doing this right? And is my kid okay? And like there's so much like personal pressure too. It's like exhausting.
And like
exhausting
societal
yourself.
pressure where you're like seeing on Instagram, you're like, look at these perfect photos. And I'm like, I haven't taken a photo of my child in 2 months because I've been too tired. You can't put any of that pressure on yourself. Yeah. There's a light at the end of the tunnel, 1,000%. And also know too, those moments when you feel alone in that first year, there are so many people that are feeling the exact same way as you. So even if you don't necessarily have a friend that you can talk to who's going through the exact same thing or went through the exact same thing, there are people all over feeling that. So you are not alone. Yeah. As far as my favorite time, I don't know. I think that if I had to pick, I love 3.
3 was cute.
3. But then the thing is too, now with Ember being 7, I'm like, it's amazing to, you know what? Honestly, I feel like it gets better every year. That's probably what it is. It's like every year more and more. I'm like, now, like when we go, we sit down for dinner and we have like the best conversations, and it's so fun. I
mean, you were talking about light at the end of the tunnel. She's talking about like light at the end of the tunnel. I'm kind of like, I think the light at the end of the tunnel is when they can start talking. When you can start communicating with them easier, because then there's like, at least I know what's wrong, right? 5 months old, you're just guessing, why are you crying? I do not know, So once they can just go, this is the issue, or I'm hungry, or
or even give one little
frustrated,
word,
or whatever it is, however they want to communicate. Once you can kind of communicate with them, I feel like for me, at least, that was the light.
Yeah.
Like once I hit that place, like, okay, we can solve this. We can have a conversation, or me and you can have a conversation about what we got to do. But when you just are guessing 24/7, that is the most exhausting thing ever. So once that little nugget starts to like be able to communicate, that's the light. So
yeah. And genuinely,
for me at least.
And I think genuinely too, light is, it gets better and better. Like it really does. Yeah. Again, you're going to have the tough days, tough weeks, tough months, but it does in general get better and better, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think.
Love it.
Well, sending you so much love. You got this. Seriously, you got this.
The fact that you're even talking this way is, I know, the good thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You're in it and you care a lot.
Exactly. Know that if you had the capacity to send this voicemail and you care, and you're an amazing, amazing mom. Want to do another one?
Yeah, let's do another one.
Hey, Mom and Dad, this is Rachel. I was just wondering if you could turn your ghost in your house into a Sims character, what would they look like? And what would they sound like? And would they like throw stuff around in their little village, or would they, be peaceful? Tell me about them. I'd love to know. Thanks.
Isn't Sims, I remember Sims back in the day, but don't they talk like, water, more, like it's like a fake language.
Yeah.
That sounds a little spooky.
That freaks me out. Just even doing that impression freaks me out. I don't even want to think about them as a Sims character.
I have to say, when we were setting up the studio, it's been all quiet lately, but then when we were setting up the studio a couple days ago, there was a full-blown knock on the studio door while we were sitting here, like testing the lights, full.
No.
And Evan and I are like
I got up to wonder who it was.
And
he
opened the door, like, who's here? Like, who's in the back past our gates?
Yeah.
Nobody.
It was literally like,
I think the ghost.
And he goes around.
I think the ghost was asking if they are welcome into this new podcast space, because the ghost was clearly haunting us in the old podcast space. It's a little bit like, hello, can I come in now?
Can I come check on those dolls?
Am I welcome?
And they're up there.
Oh God.
They're up there looking down on us, all set on that. Yeah, I don't know enough about Sims to be like, this is how it would go, but I do know enough about it to be like, what I think it would be is just like someone who, like if you're 35 and you have a video gaming college student who just kind of lives up, like that's what I would think of him as. Just kind of like, he's just sitting there playing video games, and every once in a while he walks around and gets a drink from the side, and then kind of like goes to the bathroom, and like, you know what I mean? Like that's, because
it's random.
It's random, and it's kind of like, you don't know when like it's going to be a lot or very little. You know what I mean? Sometimes he throws a party out of nowhere.
No, you know what? I think you're absolutely nailing this 1,000%. Our Sims,
sometimes he throws us a controller at the screen. Yes. And then sometimes he just sleeps for like 3 days straight.
I think you're right. I think that is our Ghost Sims character. It is like a teenager who's got their Twitch stream, comes down, or like you said, maybe a college student living at home, gets the beer, every once in a while is like, Mom, Dad, fuck you,
doesn't
and does
shower
something
as
angry.
Much as they should.
It's very random, and most of the time our college student Twitch streamer Ghosty stays up in his bedroom and does not come out and visit us, but every once in a while he just kind of like scoots by us on the way to like, make a bowl of ramen or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Or then
in the microwave.
A bowl of ramen with some Mountain Dew.
No, it's literally like all of a sudden in the kitchen, like we'll just have a door just open, and you're like, well, okay,
like he's getting some ramen.
Haven't heard from the ghost in like 3 weeks. Now all of a sudden we got a door just opening, and then that's it. And that's it. But
and that's such a college thing too. Like when you're like, hey buddy, you know what I mean? Like the parents are downstairs, the kid's like been playing video games for 4 days, and you're like, whoa, look who came down. That's what we do. It's like, oh, hey bud, you've been taking care of yourself up there? Everything okay? Is it safe for me to go upstairs?
Hey, honey, love you. Are you good? You're sure you're good?
Yeah.
Okay. We haven't seen you for a while. You've been in your room for a long time.
Go outside.
Yeah, go outside, right? Went out and banged my day,
I think that's very accurate.
Yeah,
now now whenever I hear the ghost, actually you just helped me kind of process the ghosty. Thank you, beloved family listener. Now whenever I hear a bang, I'm gonna picture like some kid in like a baggy shirt with a beanie and kind of like have a little bit of an attitude and be like, "Shut up, mom!" Like, and just walk by me. I'm like, "Okay, bye, honey." I like that energy.
Yeah, okay.
Better than some like spooky, like some just like a hooded dark figure.
Just waiting to choke you in the middle of the night. That's why I try not to think about that, because I'll definitely be the bad then.
Truth is, my stepmom for Christmas gifted us ghost hunter equipment.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned, y'all. We have some ideas.
Stay tuned for that.
Plans.
We'll definitely be taking a turn about the room with some ghost hunting equipment, even though Evan's terrified of it. But we will do it for the sake of our family.
Oh my gosh. Clean that college kid's room out.
All right, one more before
Let's do one more. Yeah.
Hi, Jess and Evan. My name's Amanda. I'm
Amanda.
so excited for this new podcast. I've been fans of you guys for so long, so it's going to be great to listen. But I have a quick question for you both. So I recently got married, and we both have been living in our hometown, but are going to end up moving somewhere new. And I'm a little bit fearful about what it looks like to make friends. I tend to be much more extroverted, and my husband is much more introverted. So it's already been a little tricky trying to kind of transition our friend groups together during marriage and figure out social life. And so I'm very worried about what that looks like when we move to a new place. So I wondered if you had any advice or thoughts on what it looks like to make friends as a married couple, especially if you both have different levels of extroversion when it comes to that. Any advice would be appreciated. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Amanda. And
it's a good question.
Good luck on your move. Yes. You want to take a stab at this first?
Okay, I wouldn't put too much pressure on having combined friendships.
Yeah.
Like I would just be like, let it happen. Like have your friends, let him have his friends. If things, all of a sudden there's kind of a couple that kind of comes into the work, do that. But I feel like a lot of people put pressure on like the couple friend thing. And it's really difficult because if I have a buddy and his significant other, like I'm now hoping that they connect. And if for some reason they don't connect, now it's like a bummer. And it's like, we're forcing this. It's like, you can't force chemistry. You can't force friendships. So I wouldn't put too much emphasis on, we got to have these couple friends. I just be like, if anything, it's helpful to like to have your own independence and have your own friendships and the things you're into. And then it'll those things will come together as they do. But I just wouldn't put too much pressure on it because that's the toughest one. It's a lot easier to find friends of yours and have him find friends of his, but it's a lot harder to find that connection because, I don't know, you're bringing in a lot more elements.
No, I completely agree. I was going to say the same thing. And especially too, if you're saying you're more extroverted and he's a little more introverted, then it sounds like, when you move to this new town that you're going to be able to find friends relatively quickly. It's something that I'm sure you're gifted at. So then you focus on finding your friends. And if there's a moment where all of a sudden your husband is like not finding friends and he's feeling lonely and you can tell, or he comes to you and is a little bit like, I'm lonely, like I don't have any friends, then that's maybe that time, because you've said before you've tried to merge and he hasn't maybe necessarily connected with that. That might be then what pushes him to be like, all right, well, your new friend such and such, like, oh, does she have a partner? Like, let's maybe try going out with them. And then maybe he'll, on his own accord be like, can I join you? But I also love the idea, like you were saying, Evan and I, we have very few like couple friends.
Yeah, seriously, very few.
We have, a few friends that like, we have a group of friends that like we'll hang out with, and there's some of them are couples, some of them aren't, whatever, but like you hang out a lot with your own friends. I hang out with my friends. I love your friends, but I don't also have like go out of my way to hang out with them.
We also have single friends that are both of our friends. So like someone will come over and me and Jess will hang out with those single people. That's a part of it too. So very few like actual like couples that we like sit down and do double dates with.
Yeah.
That's another thing too. Little side advice. I would focus on groups of people, not double dates.
Yeah.
So don't get like, I met my friend and she's bringing her boyfriend and we're going on a double date. That's a lot of pressure. If they don't connect, it's weird. Like I would say, we got invited to this barbecue.
Yes.
Or we're having a barbecue and we're inviting 10 people over. Like let it be more of a natural, I connected with this person over here and I connected with this person over here and they're not together, but we're friends, like that whole thing. And you might even meet a couple in that group situation.
Yeah.
The more you focus on the group thing, the more the natural thing will happen. Yeah. But if you try to force like double date after double date, trying to force like a connection, that will be very hard.
Yeah, the 2-on-2 pressure is that's a high pressure situation. And especially if someone's maybe a little bit more, like you said, your husband's maybe not as inclined to be as extroverted as you can be sweating sitting there like,
going, hey, make friends with him,
yeah,
or whatever.
Yeah. No, it's a lot of pressure. So yeah, I think a group hang is a great idea. And even too, if it's like, and if let's just say, okay, let's test out this scenario. Let's just say it's brand new in this new, city. And so you only have you've only met maybe one friend and you want to have that friend of yours, maybe that friend has a partner and maybe you want to introduce them. If you're going to, I would say do it somewhere like a crowded sports bar, like do an activity together. Yeah. Don't just go to dinner. Maybe go to like a game or go to a movie or go to something where the pressure isn't as high and there's like a good environment that's
you're all
loud.
Hanging. And if there's an awkward silence, you're not sitting in awkward silence. Yeah. There's music playing.
Sure.
There's a game going on. Yeah, whatever.
And that might then make your partner who's a little more introverted feel a little more loose and comfortable. But again, wouldn't put pressure on that. Like you focus on yourself and you find all your friends, and maybe doesn't need as many friends anywho. And I mean, I'm not sure, but I think that it's finding friends in a new city is already like a big undertaking, and I'm sure you'll find plenty of friends so quickly. So I say you focus on finding your own friends and be you and yeah.
Yeah. Sweet.
I love it. Well, wow. Thank you all so much for sending in for the voicemails. That's so fun.
That was super fun.
Remember, you can send voicemails in of your own at the link in the episode notes to
Anytime.
Call home.
On the screen. Boom, boom, boom.
And speaking of the screen, make sure you're subscribed to YouTube. We're going to have new episodes dropping every Wednesday. And subscribe to the podcast channel. We've got some bangers coming up.
We got a lot planned.
We've got a lot planned.
Yeah.
And I can't wait. And I'm so looking forward to it. And like I said, in a couple weeks, we got Zach's Bachelor season starting. And with Zach's Bachelor season, let's just say I'm excited to meet all the new women.
Let's go. I'm excited. I'm excited for the new season.
I can't wait. So we'll be getting into that. But up until then, we've got some good episodes planned for you all. We did it. First episode. Are you ready to do this with me?
I'm ready. I love you.
I love you too, Lee. We hold your hand.
We hold your hand from afar. We love you.
Love you guys.
Well, we love you all. Thanks for going on this journey with us. We're super excited, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. We have a lot of creative ideas and a lot of fun things to talk about.
Yes, we do.
Stay tuned.
All right. Love you, family.
Love you.